1 year since the Taliban closed in on Kabul, taking control of Afghanistan's capital, conflict continues in the country. The United Nations says more than 90% of Afghans are living in poverty. One group called CARE has been working to help save lives, defeat poverty, and achieve social justice. And CARE's Afghanistan humanitarian advocacy advisor, Mélissa Cornet, joins me now. Mélissa, good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Mélissa, how is CARE responding to what's happening in Afghanistan in the wake of the Taliban taking control of the country?
CARE, like other humanitarian organizations, has been able to significantly scale up our operation in the country to respond to the huge needs that were created immediately after the 15th of August 2021. As Ian gave a very good overview of, immediately after 15th of August last year, international funds was evaporated, which represented up to 80% of the budget of the state. Sanction went into place, creating a liquidity sanction, a banking crisis, which led to many Afghans losing their job and their livelihoods. And so CARE has been able to focus much more on this emergency response. This means distribution of food, distribution of cash, distribution of items for winter, for example, but also scaling up our health response. With the end of the conflict, we were actually able to access a lot of districts and provinces, which previously were too dangerous for us to operate in. But what Ian flagged, and I think is very important to insist on, is that Afghan households have been in a crisis for the past year. They are much more fragile than last August. They already have spent their savings. They are into debt. In very extreme cases, we have seen Afghan families having to sell their young children or even their kidneys. And so, as Ian mentioned, we are very concerned about next winter because we cannot continue just being in this emergency humanitarian response mode. We have to be able to work on the root causes of this economic crisis. So everything related to the sanctions, the central bank, and the liquidity of the frozen assets, to be able to provide long-term solution, durable solution to the Afghan people.
And Mélissa, I know you just listed a number of challenges since the Taliban took control there in Afghanistan, but what's the biggest challenge? What is that dire need of the people of Afghanistan, that biggest challenge?
It's absolutely the humanitarian crisis, the food crisis. So when I travel to the provinces and I work a lot with women, I ask them, what are your primary concern? The right situation is dramatic, but what they all answer is that I cannot work, my husband cannot work, and we cannot feed our children. And this is their absolute priority.
And we know there are thousands of Afghans still waiting on special immigrant visas to leave the country. What are you hearing from those who cannot leave?
I mean, once again, it's very hard for them to find hope because, for example, even for those who are going to school, who are studying, especially women studying, for example, there's this very negative vision of why am I studying if there's no job for me at the end? What happens if I cannot work, if, there's no economic development and there's no opportunity for me to even earn a living and be able to feed my family? So once again, there's an absolute, very urgent and very important need to be able to do much more progress on the issues of the frozen assets, the sanctions, and the banking crisis.
Yeah, very urgent. People there, men, women, and children in need. Mélissa Cornet from CARE, I really appreciate your time and your efforts and what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.